Good morning and welcome to Master Trader, where you can learn to use simple market and stock analysis to make money investing and trading. I'm Greg Capra. Today I'm going to review with you many of the markets from a long-term perspective, and then we're going to look at them from a shorter-term perspective. And I'm going to explain to you how we're going to make a plan on how to profit in 2018 using this information. All right, so what you're looking at here is my screen of various electronically traded funds that display a particular sector. And as you can see, we have aerospace and defense, biotech, home builders, metals, pharmaceuticals, banks, semiconductors, and so on. We have representation from many different sectors. And you're looking at monthly charts. And just ignore the moving averages for now, other than the blue line, that's the 20. I do put that on all time frames. But the green line, is a 50. And if you can see the red line, it's a 200. But as it relates to the monthly time frames, let's just say it doesn't relate. So as we look at these monthly time frames, we're looking for trends. We're looking for topping patterns. We're looking for bottoming patterns. We're looking for turning points. And as you can see, some of these, which would be obvious after this year's move, there are sectors that are trending quite strongly. Now, one of the questions that many ask is, how far can it go? Well, no one really knows. However, the further prices move in one direction without a correction, logic would suggest that a correction is probably not that far off. So that being said, the first thing that we look for after that is to see, has the trend become climactic? And we determine climactic by multiple bars moving up in one direction and becoming vertical in that direction, either up or down. So as we look at some of these, we can say, well, do any of these meet that criteria? So aerospace and defense has been moving up for quite a long time. As you can see, I'm moving that top left chart there. But is it vertical? Not really. It's kind of moving in a controlled way where the bars touch each other. And, here's a little bit more of a consolidation, even though it's still moving up. So I would say no. Biotech has been choppy and ground its way up back toward the high. Home builders are somewhat vertical, but it came out of a base versus trending up for a while, and so on as we go through these. Pharmaceuticals could be a theme for 2018, since they have been underperforming for a few years here and bottoming out. The question is, can they get through the resistance? So we will set alerts and we'll monitor that. And we go through each in the same way. These are regional banks. They're moving up. They're not climactic. Retailing, which has been a big underperformer, well, they've begun to bottom out here, but can they get going? Or do they break down further? Is Amazon, their nemesis, going to crush them in 2018? Well, we'll have to see. Semiconductors moving up, and so on. Software and services, almost vertical. Right, telecom consolidating within an uptrend, so on and so forth as we go through these. And then here, internet stocks becoming somewhat vertical there, far away from the 20 MA. And then we would go down to the weekly charts and do the same thing. Now, look at consumer discretionary. That is vertical and far from the 20 MA. Now, it came out of a base, which is a positive, but this could pull back and possibly pull back a significant amount, which would be a buyable event since it's in an uptrend. We have to monitor how far it pulls back, and we do the same thing as we go through these various sectors. Biotech, we know it's consolidating at a prior high. Telecom is consolidating here, choppy, and so on. Financials have had a nice move up. They're in an uptrend. They probably need to rest a little bit. And this is how we go through it in a very simple, systematic way. Then we move down to the daily charts and do the same. We know consumer discretionary is extended, and I pointed out to you in another video how we can measure slowing momentum without indicators. And the momentum here has slowed at this point right here. And as we go through all of these. So the next step in my process is when I find a sector of interest, either higher, lower, bottoming, topping, I then go and look at the stocks within that sector. So let's just pick one here. Let's say consumer discretionary, for example. I click that and I open up a list and I look at what has been moving within the list. So here are the stocks within the list. Now I like to look at what's trading the most volume within the list. I know that's where there's a lot of liquidity. It doesn't necessarily mean that there is an attractive pattern there. Let's just do this. This is just going through part of my process with you here. And I want to change this chart here. And so there's a chart that I like. That's a daily chart that I like with those moving averages. And so now I then go and look through these. And Ford actually looks pretty good. It's consolidating here. The question is, does it have room to go up? We look at the monthly. It doesn't look so attractive now. And this is how I use multiple time frames to determine high probability trade setups. So one of the things we determined looking at these charts was consumer discretionary is extended. Well, I haven't found something extended yet. So let's do this. Let's add a column here. Let's add a value column. Let me get to it. And let's take a look at percentage change over 5 days and sort that and see what's moved up a lot. Well, UA's moved up a whole lot, almost 14% in 5 days, but it's coming off of a bottom into resistance. Well, that's not extended. Discovery Communications, this is one that's just getting going. I'm writing that one down. That's attractive. That looks like it can go higher. UAA, same thing here. Big move up there. Not really extended. And see, this is how I go through it. So something in this list is ready to pull back. My job as a professional investor and trader is to find the gold nugget and where it is. And that's what we do. Coors here has moved up a lot. I bet you that looks extended. No, not really. Not really. That was my impression, but it's a little extended and could pull back, but the monthly looks like it can go higher. It doesn't mean it won't pull back. Odds are it will, but it's moving up in a very controlled way. What I'm looking for here is one that's out of control. Something here should match. That's moved up a lot, but that's broken out. I know what that looks like. And now I probably need to set up multiple charts to find what has moved up so I can see them together versus switching. But let's just go to the monthly here. And it's odd that something, and here we go, Home Depot, right? That has moved up a lot. It is strong. It's moved up quite a bit, probably going to pull back. But I don't look at this as a mouth-watering opportunity for a short setup on a long-term basis. Not at all. We're just looking for things that have moved up a lot that are likely to pull back on a short-term basis. And this is how we can use options intelligently. We could short the stock at the appropriate time using this multiple time frame analysis. But options are an excellent tool to do this as well. And this is what we do at Master Trader. Right? Subscribe to the channel. Come to the website. Get to know us. Join up for weekly lessons. Great service that we have where we send you a lesson every single week where you learn technical analysis, options analysis, and how to put it together. That's it for me, folks. Have a great trading day. Maybe we'll talk tomorrow. Maybe not. Holidays are coming. Have a great holiday, everyone.